To all of you. Now I invite our Dr. V. Satish Kumar sir to introduce about our today's speaker, Dr. S. Priya ma'am. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming Dr. S. Priya, Vice President, Pharma, Biotech, MedTech from Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation Limited. Ma'am is a multifaceted business management professional from a topmost management institute in India, IIM Ahmedabad. Ma'am is also a certified independent director from the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, a veterinary doctor and veterinary pathologist from Madras Veterinary College. An ardent researcher, she has won the Young Scientist Award for New Technology Development in Mammary Cancer Studies in Dogs. At TIDCO, ma'am is involved in conceptualizing and implementing the TISL Innovation Hub at TISL Biopark under the budget announcement of Government of Tamil Nadu and hand-holding health tech investments through joint venture with TIDCO. Ma'am strongly advocates a collaborative linkage model between multiple stakeholders like academia, industry, startups, research institute to bridging the gap. Successfully worked on multiple joint proposals for integrating Industry 4.0 in healthcare with a special focus on women health, specially abled children, personalized medicine, One Health and skill development in life sciences, etc. So it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you, ma'am. So now, please, you can start the session, ma'am. Thank
you. Good evening and welcome to all. Thank you so much for inviting me for this FDP program of ATEL along with MIT on the virtual and augmented reality. So happy to be a part of the esteemed faculty members. You're all already experts. I'm no greater than any of you. So I'm here to speak to you about how using this virtual and augmented reality, how do we undertake joint research or applied research, and what are the frontiers of using these immersive technologies, and how do we undertake the different kind of projects in healthcare and other sectors as well. So let's go into the next PPT, next page. Next slide, please. Yes, thank you. So let me introduce something about my organization before we go into the topic. I'm from TIDCO, Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation, and TIDCO is the investment arm of the state. So we build large industrial infrastructures by undertaking. Sorry, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, done. So at TIDCO, normally we undertake large industrial projects in the form of JV with different companies and other stakeholders. And to name a few, one is Titan, the Titan watches. So Titan is a joint venture between TIDCO and Tata's. And the Tidal Park, that is again a venture of TIDCO. TISL Biopark is a venture of TIDCO. The city center, what you call the where all the fairs are happening, the Chennai Trade Center. So it is also the joint venture of TIDCO only. The Mahindra World City, it is again a popular thing of TIDCO. So we build infrastructures like this along with other companies. So next slide, please. Of late, TIDCO also wanted to involve or to introduce into innovation. Because the state is moving towards a knowledge-led economy. And that is the reason TIDCO also wanted to support the state in innovation. And that is the reason TIDCO has spent around 600 crores in setting up 3 centers of excellence, TANSAM, TANCAM, and TAMCO. And along with 3 big giants like Siemens, Dassault, and GE Healthcare. And all these centers are very state-of-the-art centers with highly sophisticated softwares and hardwares which can support anyone. Like so, these centers are open for the general public. So it is open for the academia, open for the startups, MSMEs, industries. They can come and join, they can come and undertake some joint research projects, and they can undertake some project, they can solve their industrial problems using these centers. These centers have technical people who can undertake that work. And why I'm very much specifying here is that because the topic AR/VR, at the end of the day, I'm going to specify about the applied research using these technologies. And for the applied research, for commercialization of any research, so I'm advocating that research should not just stand on the paper alone. It should be commercializable. It should be translatable. So for translating that research, you need an industry partner, and that is where we are there. These three centers will act as an industrial partner in translating your research, applied research into the market. So how? Let's go to the next slide. So these are the ways by which you could actually collaborate with TIDCO. So as an academic partner, you all are very esteemed faculties, and you can undertake some joint research, joint translation research along with these COEs. Even some MSMEs can come and undertake some contract research. Even joint product development is there. Internships are available. Industrial visits are available. We can jointly undertake submit some proposals. Already we have submitted one proposal along with the MIT, your institute. Dr. Satish Kumar, and we have also won one of the proposals, also one of the schemes under the CM's Research Fund grant. That is the first time they had instituted that award, and we have won in the first year itself. So like that, we can undertake a lot of other projects, joint research projects, along with which are available at DST, DBT, or MEIT, anywhere, even Indo-US is there, Indo-Japanese is there. So these kind of projects we can jointly undertake. We will come in as an industrial partner. Next slide, please. So with this brief introduction, let me go into the topic. So I don't have to tell you about what is virtual reality and augmented reality because you're already masters in that. But still, for the session, see, augmented reality is a technology, or these both are immersive technologies. So augmented reality, it is actually augmenting the real world with virtual objects or sensory with virtual objects or sounds, etc. And whereas virtual reality is where the technology takes you to a virtually different environment, other than totally different from that of the physical environment. Next slide, please. So why do we have to understand about this technology? Why this technology is much more useful? Because of late, this immersive technology is actually transforming the way by which all these different stakeholders run. Maybe it is actually used across MSMEs, academia, the healthcare providers, even the online shoppers are like Amazon, Flipkart. They are using a lot of these technologies for attracting the customers as well. And it is also used in banking, it is used in tourism. So the way by which these technologies are evolving is mind-blowing. So next slide, please. Yeah. So I just put some buckets like how this technology is being used across different domains. So the first one is like it is actually transforming the way in which the information is being conceived or consumed. For example, if I'm just going to tell you some stories in a very flat language, it is actually not going to attract anyone's attention. But if using these technologies, it is actually giving you a immersive and interactive experience, so that the audience will get more engaged, and it is also causing a lot of memorable experience to the audience. And even it helps in the interactive visualizations, because we use 3D visualization, and so it is easier for us to recall that. Recall memory is actually triggered using these technologies. And we will also be able to create some virtual labs, because if, for example, if we are going to train the students on some biotech equipments, say, for example, a fermenter, it's a very costly affair. The fermenter itself costs so many crores of rupees, and we cannot use the same equipment. And for all the students, it is a very costly affair. It is not everyone can afford to buy that machine itself, buy that equipment itself. So in that case, can we use a virtual lab using this AR/VR? We can actually create a virtual lab by which we could actually train so many students, and they can also troubleshoot using that VR-based fermenter equipment. It can also be used in the hospital setup also, like the ECG machines are there, EEG machines are there in the hospitals. So how do the technicians use that? And if any troubleshooting is happening, how do they actually tackle that? So everything could be done with the help of AR/VR. Next slide, please. So next one is this technology. These technologies are actually revolutionizing the way in which education and training are going ahead. Because okay. So one thing is that every person has a different wavelength of learning. So this technology gives a very personalized experience, and it caters to the needs of that particular individual. For example, the special children will need a different kind of an experience or education tool, whereas for others it would be a different one. For autistic kids, again, the tools are different. So we can customize this technology to cater the needs of every person, every category of person. And also remote training is also possible. Now I'm sitting here and you're all sitting somewhere else, but then we are able to undertake some kind of a remote training. But so these kind of trainings can also be undertaken using AR/VR. And also the retention is also much more higher because of the customization and attractiveness of the immersion technology. Next slide, please. So these technologies, these immersive technologies will actually enhance at the end of the day more collaboration and communication, because it helps in a lot of virtual meetings, and interactive presentations can be done, and the audience can ask a lot of questions, and they can interact with them, with the speakers as well. And even understanding some complex problems also, it is very easier using these technologies. So thereby it is helping in better communication. Next slide, please. And slightly on the healthcare, I'm not just going deeply, but still on the healthcare, it plays a very, very major role, especially in medical training. Maybe we'll go more into this in the next coming slides, but still on the medical training, especially for the medical professionals, they can undertake a lot of the training can be imparted to them using these immersive technologies without the use of any cadavers or any other materials. And even nowadays, patients who are admitted to the hospitals who are going to undertake some surgeries, nowadays the rule of the thumb rule is that the patients also have to understand what disease they have, what is the surgery or what is the procedure that they are going to undertake, and how will it look like, and can we actually tell them like what is their condition in a very immersive manner. So everything can be done using this technology, and even the treatment plan can also be told using this technology, so that their fear or anxiety before the surgery or during the surgery or during the treatment is minimized. And then the therapy and treatment, yes, for mental health patients and all, this technology is very much useful. Maybe in the future coming slides, I'll tell you in detail. Next slides. Okay, so now I'm going to concentrate on what are all the opportunities which are available for applied research in this particular AR/VR technology. So it is actually useful in education field, even hospital or healthcare sector. Then even the gaming sector it is useful, tourism sector, then real estate, architectural, and then even transport sector. So there is not a single sector where this technology is not being used. So it is used everywhere. The next one. Okay. So though there are a lot of use case using this particular technology in different fields, I am just restricting to some of the basic thing which you will be able to undertake post this presentation. The first one is that I'm just going to tell you about some kind of applied research which can be done in healthcare using this AR/VR. For example, in the MCA, Medical Council of India, there's a certifiable procedural skills. For example, every medical student at the end of their college, they have to actually undertake they have to undergo these kind of procedural skills, and it has to be certified. But unfortunately, so I have just cut, copy, pasted this particular thing from the GMER regulations PDF. GMER is Graduate Medical Education Regulations as per the NMC. So here they have specified under each category. For example, in general medicine, there are a lot of procedures that the intern has to undertake before he is getting certified as a doctor. Like lumbar puncture, or even IV fluid. How do they undertake some IV cannulation, and then how do they undertake some IM injections? How to put the injections? How to do some basic suturing? So these are actually listed in the PDF. But unfortunately, what happens is that most of the students do not have or do not face these kind of cases in their wards. Maybe in big hospitals, or even in some very hot hospital like Chennai, we get a lot of patients. So there, at least the students will have an exposure to at least to some of these procedures. But in some hospitals or some colleges and all, the cases would be very less, and it might not. It is not able. The students will not be able to face all these. So in that cases, can we create modules around each one of these? So it is a huge opportunity, because even the Medical Council, actually, they are actually thinking of creating some modules across each of these. For example, for the blood transfusion, how the blood transfusion has to be done. Can it be under? Can we create a VR module using that for this particular thing alone, like for blood transfusion, for oxygen therapy, or for lumbar puncture? For each of this, can we create some VR modules, so that the medical interns, at least they will be able to do it on a virtual thing, so that they understand, like, okay, if this procedure is there, we have to do, these are the steps involved, and we have to do it like that. So this is very prospective thing, and if you are interested, the faculties actually can work on each of these, and maybe we can collaborate with other medical colleges also, some big medical colleges, and then we can actually create and present these modules to them, and this can also be commercialized. For example, if we create these modules can be sold across the country also. So this is one of the golden opportunities for you to work on. Next slide, please. Next, in medical education simulations, for example, while we actually do learn about anatomy and all, we have to use cadavers. But unfortunately, the availability of cadavers is very limited, and also it is all formalin. It is all formalin based, so it causes intense irritation of the eyes, and it is also we cannot get so many times. We will not be, once it is dissected, that's it. Again, we have to throw it out and then get a new cadaver. So can we use this technology to create some simulations for anatomy, not just human anatomy? It can also be used for animal anatomy also, because for animals and all, we have to sacrifice the animals to get each kind. For example, for sheep and goat, or dogs and cats, for each one we need to, so there will be so many students, and we have to sacrifice so many animals. So using this technology, everything could be reduced. And moreover, we can do dissections so many times, and our level of understanding will also be much more higher in VR. So this is another important opportunity for you to work. And again, these modules are highly saleable. Next one, please. medical rehabilitations. The use of these technologies are much more finding a greater space in these rehabilitations, especially for special children, because special children, for them, even for rehabilitation or even for education, they need separate kind of VR technology, and that is what using the VR can be used to create a wide range of modules. It can be in the form of a playway method also. Instead of just taxing them to do this, that, if if we are creating some attractive modules using cartoon characters, it will be very much useful and for these children. And even for cancer patients who are in terminally ill patients, their level of their emotional well-being is much more low. So can we increase their emotional happiness, or can we reduce their pain by just changing their mindset to using these the kind of technologies, or even for phobias and all, because we have there are patients who come with the phobia of the height also, or they have some phobia of some insects or snakes or something like that, but unfortunately they would be employed in certain of these situations. So how do we reduce that with the help of VR? So these kind of we can create modules for each one of these. And even for public speaking also, these kind of technologies are being used, so that they will be well exposed as in the virtual environment. They'll be exposed to a large crowd who will also be in an interactive mode, so that they reduce their level of phobia. And these kind of things can be using this technology. This phobias can be actually given in a limited manner. Maybe initially little exposure can be given, and then gradual exposure, or even realistic simulations, maybe making them exposed to some realistic situations, like the depth. If they are very fearful of the height, making them experience the height or the depth of the thing, can we reduce their phobias. And then this VR, AR and all, it is having a lot of uses in relaxation. For example, a patient is lying on the hospital bed, maybe he'll have to be there in the hospital for about 2 or 3 weeks, let's suppose. So in that condition, he'll be just sitting, laying down in the bed. But in the room will have 4 walls, and that's it, and there'll be peep peep sound of the equipments. So this constantly, when he's exposed to this, his mentality totally diminishes, and that actually affects his psychology. And then the level of uh, the way he gets out of that particular treatment is actually reduced. So these kind of VR technologies can be used, maybe taking them to a virtually different environment which they like, maybe some different climatic zones, or making them to go to some different places, at least for a few hours a day, few minutes in a day. That will actually improve their cognitive, or that will improve their emotional thing, so that their outcome from that surgery or that treatment is very much higher, because the research has been proven in that. So the AR VR has a very great applications in medical rehabilitations, and each one can be actually created as a module, and it's highly recommended or highly wanted by all the big hospitals. Next slide, please. And the healthcare awareness programs. So we've also been involved in creating a lot of awareness modules for different diseases. For example, breast cancer awareness module, or even the breastfeeding awareness module, or cervical cancer awareness. See, these cancers are, though the government undertakes a lot of initiatives to make the people aware about all these diseases, sometimes the people will actually feel a bit shy of actually hearing to those things. And these kind of technologies are very useful in reducing that, because even if you ask them to assemble in a particular community hall, and then display or through a video about what is breast cancer, everything, they'll have a slight feeling of shyness. But if you have that technology using this AR VR, if you are able to give that particular form of an immersive experience, it has a very lasting impact in the patients or in the patients. Or even you can also tell them through the AR VR, like how to do the self breast examination, or how to detect if any abnormality is there during the cervical cancer. So this technology is actually used in that. So we've already created some of the modules, awareness modules, and we have, along with the DPH, we have done. But then there are a lot of other modules that are pending to be created, and this will have a very lasting impact on the patients, even at in the awareness programs of the government, even in the very rural areas. The Makkalai Thedi Marutvam is there, wherein the lady nurse will actually go and go to each and every house. If this kind of technology is being so if this kind of a technology is being given in the form of a headset, that will be actually helpful for the government as well. And there are the other issues like tobacco and the drug abuse. So how do we create awareness sessions for the college students or the school students? If we just show them some videos or something like that, they will not be interested, or their interest level will just fall down. Suppose if we are making that awareness into a kind of an interactive session, wherein we can actually make them to realize what are the ill effects of tobacco or drug abuse, and also have some interactive play things also inside the AR VR module, it will be really helpful for them to at least this will have an impact. Immersive experience will have a lasting impact on the minds of that children or the young adults, so that at least they'll be able to at least some would be able to come out of this habit. And even the child abuse, the child should be able to that we should educate the child about what is the good touch and the bad touch. So these kind of technologies are very useful in imparting what are those. So the by way of playway method, even I could understand, like most of the schools, the teachers just avoid these kind of chapters in the schools just because they don't feel comfortable in telling the children. But then using these technologies, it is easier for us to impart by way of immersive experience, what are the kind of good touch and bad touch to the children. So again, these are very hot picks, and this could be actually commercializable. We need definitely support from the faculties to work on this along with us. Next one, please. And in the manufacturing, so usually in the manufacturing industries, what happens is that when the employees join newly, they'll be undergoing some internship, like some induction program, wherein they will be asked to assemble and disassemble some parts of the machines which they are going to operate, which they are going to work with. So can we use this technology to make that much more easier and enjoyable, so that they can do it a lot of times. For example, we have done this. We are actually tied up with Flextronics also for doing this particular thing. For servicing and all. They actually recruit the ITI graduates, and we actually impart these kind of modules using this AR VR. We are imparting the training to the ITI and other employees. So this has a lot of value in that. Next slide, please. And maritime. So again, in maritime, for example, the farers, wherein they have to undertake a lot of training to understand what are the safety procedures, and if some troubleshooting is happening, how to tackle that. Or when the seafarers are just going in the middle of the sea, if they're finding some disturbance from the sea, how to tackle that. So everything could be simulated using this AR VR, and so this plays a major role in making them understand more about the technology, so that it reduces any accidents and make them prepared to face all these consequences. Next slide, please. So this AR VR technology in real estate is actually turning a lot of things. For example, if at all we need to market a particular house, real estate apartment or a house, or even a commercial space to any particular customer, it is easier to make them walk through using the virtual tours. for example, even the big industries like Tidal Park or Tisel Park, or even big Mahindra World City, if suppose a customer is entering, how do they navigate to reach their respective office, or inside the office also, or inside the mall also, how to navigate inside each one to reach that particular store. So for that and all, we can use this AR/VR. And this will have a help in understanding, in making the customers more much more, they could understand more about that particular building in a much more immersive way. Next one, please. So I think I'm done with this. So the way the AR/VR is actually bringing in a lot of revolution is very tremendous, and there's a lot of opportunities for us to work on some real on some real projects, which actually has a lot of translational value. So the faculties should definitely come, and we are open to join with them as an industry partner, and to help your research to become translational. So if at all you need any support, do please connect with us, and we can take it forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Participants, any questions from your side? Faculty members, dear participants, please raise your questions. Ma'am is ready to help. Faculty members, any queries from your side? Ma'am, I hope no queries from participant side. That was a very informative session, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for accepting our invite and being part of this Atal online FDP program, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, because I don't want to go into the technical aspect of the AR/VR, which anyway you are all masters. I just wanted
Yes,
to make you immerse into this, how this could be undertaken as a project or applied research, so that the society at large gets benefited.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Participants, please stay in the meeting, because once you went out of the meeting, rejoining is quite difficult, it seems. Yesterday we have realized. So please remain in the meeting itself. By 7:30 or 7:15 p.m., the second session resumes. Please wait in the meeting or join the same meeting again. And we will share the attendance link within 7 p.m. So up to 7:30 p.m., the session 1 attendance link will be enabled. So at 7:30 p.m., the session 1 attendance will be disabled. Please make a note of it. And the second session attendance we will share at the end. Please make a note of it.